Hi everyone, welcome to my studio series of Papermaking 101. My name is Kate Timms. I started making paper in 2021 and I just got a grant to build my own papermaking studio and teach classes in North and South Carolina because papermaking is a human old tradition that is sustainable today. It's a way of slowing down and it's a way of connecting to the environment around us. Today I am going to walk you through a process of how to make a mold and deckle. I am making a 5x7 mold and deckle today, which is about the same size as a postcard. This is the mold, the frame with the screen, and some of them will have staples or epoxy around them to hold the screen. And mold comes from the Latin word molda, meaning to shape. And then this is the deckle. The deckle is the frame without the screen. The deckle is responsible for holding the paper inside the frame, and the deckle comes from a German word meaning to cover. So this is what we're going to be making today, and then you can make all the handmade paper that you want in the world. You can find my video how to make handmade paper on my channel as well. And I would not be able to do any of this without the South Carolina Arts Commission. They were able to give me the support to build this project, and now I get to show you guys how you can do it too. And that means both apply for a grant if you're a creative or an artist, and also make your own handmade paper because it's cool and it's sustainable. Let's go through our supplies. You will need a miter saw. Today we are going to do a butt joint. You can do 45-degree angle joint, and this will give you the ability to do both. I have my wood glue that is waterproof. I have my two different kinds of sanders, I have my band clamp. Then I'm going to stain. This is a maritime stain. I use Cabot. And then finally I'm going to staple my screen. So you will need staples and a staple gun. But I'm recording. So for my 5x7s, we're gonna do a butt joint, and we are going to do 5 inches and then 9-inch sides. And when you're making the molds and deckles, you need to think that you're making sets of everything. If I'm making 2 of the 5s, I actually need to make 4 of the 5s. So now we are moving on to our first of 2 sandings. For our 5x7 mold and deckle, I have 5-inch sets right here. These 2 will be for my mold. These 2 will be for my deckle. So now we are moving on to our wood glue stage. I have the waterproof Tidal Bond wood glue. A little goes a long way. So I'm just gonna start setting them up into squares. This is going to be the long side, and these will go inside. I want the compression to come from the sides, the longer sides. And I'm gonna do the mold and deckle compressed together in this clamp. And make sure that you are reading those dry times. I think this is going to be like a 30-minute set time. And then for maximum strength, you have to wait 24 to 48 hours. And I'm going to grab my pony band clamp. First, stitch them away at this corner. Make sure that that is flush. For the band clamps, sometimes with the frames, the corners will want to come up. So I'm going to place bricks on each of my corners to prevent that from happening. All right, we're set. See you tomorrow. Welcome back, guys, for day 2 of mold and deckle making. Now we're gonna free some deckles from our band clamp. And so I'm just gonna come back here and I'm gonna loosen that lever. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to clean up the corners where the wood glue has kind of come out. Safety first. We've got our glasses, mask.
And now I am sanding off that wood glue and rounding out my edges. It's time to apply our stain.
I like to use this Australian timber oil Cabot. It is a maritime stain and it has an oil base. So it's gonna reject all that water from your vat that wants to get in and seep into your wood pores. And it will protect your mold and deckle and make it last. My stir stick, make sure you give it a good mix. So I always keep my wood scraps and then they become my stands. I have made sure that my molds and decals are clear of any sawdust. I'm just using a sponge brush. That's my favorite method. I feel like it disperses stain good enough and I don't really waste it either. So I'm just gonna come around and lightly spread that out, smooth it, go with the grain. And see, I have not dipped my brush back in the stain yet. So this one dip has lasted me both this mold and deckle so far. And welcome back for day 3 of making your mold and deckle, our stained frames. And now we need one that's the deckle and one that's the mold. So we're gonna set aside this deckle because this does not need a screen. I like to use Arrow and I'm using this grade for this size of the frame. You can use polypropylene. I like to get the screen in bulk from Lowe's. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with our staples. So we want this warp as flexed as possible. I like to follow the lines of the screen. And I'm gonna come to the center. I know where my staple's gonna go with the arrow gun because of this blue line. Now I'm gonna push down. Boom. And then to go ahead and get that first tension, I'm gonna come here. And I like to hold this part while I'm doing this because it ensures that this gets all the way pressed down into the wood. And then I'll do like a zigzag to keep that warp. I have my 5-minute JB Weld epoxy. Last but not least, you can eyeball this, or I just like to use a scale because we're just going to aim for equal parts of A and equal parts of B. And make sure that solution is going to cure. This is only going on the wood parts and not into the screen that is inside of the wood. Now we're gonna take our scissors, and I like to cut at an angle. Beautiful.